Goodness.
Okay, we are live, and this is a very special little interview. Someone I met. You know, the great thing about social media is you can meet people from all over the world and all walks of life, and even people that you didn't know existed who have somehow are part of your extended family. That's a big wind-up to say that. Recently on Twitter, I was contacted by a young fella who is the great grand nephew of the man who I've been doing the voice of for KFC, and his name is Anthony Sanders. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking time out. Where it looks like you're in your is that your I know you got a new home you're in right now. Is that a game area or what is it? It's a very interesting area that
This is my bedroom.
okay. And
I get the upstairs.
oh, you have the upstairs. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was a basement or the upstairs. Anyway, you sent me uh, your information, and you said that you've been listening sometimes to some of the YouTube videos I've done where I've been impersonating your great granduncle.
Hmm.
And so I take it you're not insulted by my performance.
No, no, I'm not insulted.
Did you know him personally?
No, he died in 1980. I was born, I think, 17 years after he died.
Ah, okay.
I didn't even know I was related to him until second grade.
Uh huh.
My
Now,
grandpa told me.
if you'll straighten up a little bit, you can show the audience that you actually have on the Kentucky Colonel uniform, I guess is what you call that. And you've got some badges there as well, do you not? Or maybe those are on
I
your
don't
jacket.
have the badges on me. They used to be on my jacket. I lost the jacket in the move.
You lost the jacket? Oh
Yeah, I
my
lost the
God.
jacket in the move.
Oh
This is
no.
all I this all I have is a shirt and some Halloween pants on right now, but
Oh my goodness. Well, Anthony's just told me that he just moved up from Florida and now he is in Maine, which is a big change. But you were born in Kentucky.
mhm.
And then tell us about when you found out about being related to this very iconic person.
It was in second grade. It was around, I think I was going through cancer at the time, and my grandpa told me about it. He showed me a picture, and he told me that was my great uncle. And after that, I started telling everybody. Nobody believed me on it. I got bullied for countless years until I did that one interview with the 10 News in Florida.
Uh-huh.
Then that stuff kind of stopped. But I've always been interested in it.
Yeah, and how did you feel about that? I mean, it's you'd obviously been aware, or maybe you hadn't. Were you aware of the colonel at that early age from
Nope,
nothing? No, you hadn't seen ads and things like that.
nope, not a thing.
Okay. So, but in later years, you've obviously gotten very interested in Colonel Sanders because you're to some degree keeping the line going there, right?
Hmm.
And tell me a little bit about your relationship with the Colonel now.
When KFC started bringing him back from the dead with all the comedians, that
Mm-hmm.
that that was a little offensive, but not to me. It was to my grandpa. And when my grandpa told me how he was feeling about that, I wanted to, because I had a little bit of a platform, I wanted to say something. So I started getting involved in it. And one thing led to another, and I started researching him more and asking my grandpa questions about him more and learning more about him. And now I'm into it now.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
keep
that's
it. I want
great.
to keep it going.
You want to keep it going. That's great. No, it's a real family legacy. And I'm aware that you don't have a relationship with KFC. Your family doesn't have a relationship because the Colonel, of course, sold the company,
Hmm.
and that was the end of that. But he's the legacy of the myth, I guess, is sort of still intertwined.
Hmm.
And man, a few words, like his uncle says. Now, tell me about you live with your grandparents now, right?
Yes.
Up in Maine, and you've all just moved there together.
Yep. We're working on a cabin. We bought a cabin. It was in horrible shape, and we got it for a song. And now it's a log sided cabin, and it looks great.
Wow.
I'll
Did you
share
have
some pictures with you later.
sure? So you were have you been working on building it earlier this year or When
Since
did you
July of
deliver?
last year,
Really? And what all did you have to do?
everything. Everything from plumbing to siding to interior to some flooring, painting, landscaping. Uh, we had to put a new well in, and we're still working.
A new
We had to put a
well.
new. Yeah, they had a hand dug well, and it was just bringing this mucky, murky stuff coming out of it, and you can't drink that. So
No.
we had a 200-foot well drilled, and now we got clean water coming in.
Wow. That's a pretty big
16 and a
adventure.
half acres.
Wow. That's a big project. That's Maine, says Detroit 3,111. Yeah, fascinating. So this, you feel a lot of ownership probably of this place because you've really been putting it together.
Yeah, yeah. I don't ever plan on leaving this area.
And wow, and for a 24-year-old to say that, that's some serious business, serious words.
I really like it here. It's a big change from the city life.
Yeah, big change, big change. Well, have you had held any significant jobs in your young life that you could tell us about? Things that you've done for a living?
Oh, I wouldn't say they're too significant. I work with my grandfather maintaining inventory for pretty much the country for hubs and bushings and conveyor belt components. That's my main job.
And what could
And
you explain? I've always heard about what bushings, and I don't actually know what bushings are. What are bushings?
to tell you the truth, I don't really know what they do. I just know that they go on the end of a roller and the hub goes into that, and that's what makes the rollers on the conveyor belts.
Oh, okay.
I I just sell them. I don't know the specs to them.
Okay. You can't repair bushings, but you
No, I
could you put some could you pick some bushings out in a police lineup if they had, you know,
yeah.
suspects? You go, "Oh, those are the bushings. Those are the ones."
Yeah, I could point out the parts.
Cool. And how is it working for your grandpa? Do you enjoy working with your grandfather?
I love it. Sometimes we butt heads, but I mean that's family.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great. I think it's lovely that you have that relationship with them. And I'm sure it's very mutually beneficial.
Yeah, it's
Do you know who
it's been
Murphy
nice.
Man 101 is? Sorry to interrupt you.
That's my friend Matt.
Okay, Matt. Hi, Matt.
He's letting me know my YouTube stream it's not going up on there. Let
Oh,
me
okay.
click one thing real quick.
Sure, sure. And in the meantime, I'll just sort of take over and say thank you
There
all
we
for
go.
watching. And this is fun. We're talking. Now, I've been doing the Colonel Sanders character. In fact, I just bring him in here for a second and say, hey there, Anthony. It's been a long time. In fact, we never did meet, but, well, I'm a big admirer of you, young fella.
It sounds remarkably like him.
Does it? Well,
Based on I never heard his voice myself, just based on videos that I've watched.
uh-huh. Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds remarkable.
Well, I grew up seeing his commercials, and I have a very good ear and a good memory for sound and voices. And when I discovered that they were looking for a Colonel Sanders sound-alike, I thought, boy, I think I got this one. I think if they really care about an authentic sounding Colonel, I think I'm good.
I
Uh,
approve.
I'm glad. Actually, it really meant a lot to me because I haven't met anybody that's a blood relative of the Colonel, and uh, the people at KFC I've never met either. Frankly, I've met the people in the advertising agency only,
Hmm.
and they're all really nice people. But obviously, you've seen how they've used comedians and celebrities, and it doesn't really seem to be a tremendously important thing to them to maintain the fidelity of the original man.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. The older I'm getting, the more I just don't care for it, but because it makes me kind of embarrassed. Some of them are pretty funny, but
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just it feels weird,
I
in my
understand.
opinion.
I understand. I understand. Uh, thanks, Estefile. Yeah. Here's a question: has being a part of KFC ever made your life worse,
Is that to
Anthony?
me or you?
Yeah, as being, I don't know. It certainly hasn't made my life worse at all. No, absolutely not. And one thing that sort of comforts me about it, even though uh, Colonel Sanders, Harland Sanders himself, is not really part of the whole deal anymore, and his family isn't connected to it all. But he started something pretty amazing, and the legacy that I think is worthy of being prideful of is here's a guy, an entrepreneur in his 60s, who launched this mammoth empire, and he did it trying to create a really good solution for housewives of the time to have really, really decent takeout food that was tasty and delicious. And he did it. And it's not easy to do. It takes an awful lot of persistence, you know? So I think that's that. And also his just that bygone age of courtly politeness and generosity, I think is something that every now and then needs to be rebooted. And it's nice to have even echoes of it somewhere. So that's one thing that I'm not proud of. It's nothing to be proud of, but one thing that makes me grateful to be associated with the brand and with your great granduncle's personality, which I adore.
I certainly enjoy the little videos you put out on YouTube of that.
Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen them, I do these Colonel Sanders. I love to be that character, so I can just do if I think of another voice that I like to do, and I like to put people in combination. Have Colonel Sanders receiving a phone call or calling up somebody. Like
I do that stuff in my room by myself sometimes.
Yeah, I do it in my room by myself too. Just a different kind of room. I have a padded room, but anyway,
soundproof.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now you became a Kentucky colonel?
Yes.
And how did that happen? What do you have to do to be a Kentucky colonel?
I was working at the food pantry at my church, and we fed thousands of families over the last. I think I was there for 9 years. No, yeah, 9 years. I was there for 9 years working at the food pantry, and one of my friends who was a judge in Manatee County was also a Kentucky colonel, and without telling me, he nominated me for the work I was doing to the community, and that's how I became it. It's
That's
for
so cool.
selfless acts to the community.
That's good. Do you plan on continuing selfless acts now that you're up in Maine with a whole new bunch of people?
Yes, actually, there's a food pantry just a couple miles down the road. I plan on working over there.
That's wonderful, man. That's really, really cool, I think. That's wonderful. Well, you may have to thaw out these Maine people a little bit before they really warm up to you. We'll
Everybody up here seems to be pretty nice. They're really, really nice.
Oh, that's so great.
Everyone up here.
That's so great. Well, here we got Colonel Thayer says, wow, Colonel Thayer is a court. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know him.
He actually also carries the mantle of Colonel Sanders. He's a fellow Colonel Sanders devotee. So how you doing, Colonel Thayer? Thanks for tuning in there.
I've spent the last few years contacting as many people who do impersonations and lookalikes of Uncle Harley just to get their story of why they like to do it. I like to hear those stories.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I've met quite a few people who say, "Oh yeah, I met the Colonel back in. I met the Colonel," and it's a lot. He obviously traveled around a lot and met a lot of people. I bet he was very, very friendly and generous with his time.
Mm-hmm.
Most gracious celebrities I know are like that. They'll take time out. I don't know if you're aware, but my mom is a celebrity too. She was played Mrs. C on the TV show Happy Days years ago.
I remember that show.
Yeah, so she was Richie's mom, Ron Howard's mom, and so everywhere she goes, she's recognized, kind of like Colonel Sanders, even today. And people make a fuss over her, and she just loves it. So it's nice. It's nice to be well known for the right reason,
Yeah.
And what would you like to be known for in your life?
Just making people smile. I don't really have any ambition to be well known, like famous wise, just for the sake of being famous. I want to leave behind the world better than the way I found it.
Excellent.
guess that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Man, few words. Your friend Murphy Man says, Anthony, my question for you is, will you ever own a KFC? I think we know the answer to that.
I'm not going to own one, but we're going to start our own chain at some point.
Will you start your own chain of chicken places?
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Well, not we. My grandpa made his own recipe, and I like it better than anything I've ever tasted. He likes it better, and everyone that we've fed it to likes it better. That
wow.
food pantry at the church, we had a chicken night, and we invited the community over, and we fried chicken for the whole community down there in Manatee County. They all loved it. So
Excellent.
that set his mind on he wants to open his own chain and get that out there for people.
Wow. Wow. That's great. Well, that's a big project. That's a very
Yeah.
ambitious challenge, but I think it's great. And is there any, I wonder, is there any restriction on you using the legacy of Colonel Sanders at all?
If there is, I do not care.
Okay.
I'm just like when he sold the place and he tried putting his name on some spice or some, I forget what it was. He was doing something and they sent a cease and desist to him
Oh
for
boy.
using
They
his
shut him
name, and they
down.
settled on that. But
Yeah.
I'll I'll be just like him on that.
Yeah. Well, that'll give you some interesting interesting times ahead. Detroit 3111 says, if you can bring KFC close to Pittsfield, Maine, I promise I'll gain weight ASAP. But it won't be KFC. They probably already have KFC close to Pittsfield, Maine.
I don't even know where that is here.
Yeah, you're going to have to get a map, I think, now that you live in Maine.
I've learned the area that I'm in, but I'm still exploring the whole state. I plan on making my rounds.
Yeah.
I do know the closest KFC they have is over in Canada. That's the closest KFC to me. It's over
Wow.
in Canada.
So you have to go over the border.
Yeah, when they open it. It's not open yet. Or at least I don't think it is. They might have done it recently.
Well, it's just a treat to meet you, and I'm glad that you weren't offended by my homage to your great great granduncle, and I wish you a lot of luck with everything. We've had quite a few people listening in, and it's really sweet to get to know you.
You too.
I just want to say, keep up the good work. You're carrying on the family name, and I appreciate it.
Do you have a bobblehead of your great granduncle?
I don't. I have a few cups from his 100th anniversary and a few photos, but I don't got no bobbleheads.
I recommend it. Comes in really handy. Well, all right, Anthony. Did you have anything you wanted to say in particular? Oh, we should promote your YouTube channel. What is your YouTube channel?
Oh, it's Yogi the Hamster 10.
Yogi the Hamster 10.
Yes,
Okay, and what kind of stuff do you like to put up there?
everything.
Maps of Bermuda?
Oh no, not that everything. There's some
Okay.
comedy stuff, a lot of gaming, uh, music, and animations.
Nice, nice.
And occasionally I do voice impressions, but I'm not as good as you are.
Well, you're young. You got a lot of practicing to do.
Yep,
Do you have a Colonel Sanders impression?
I do not. I will not even attempt that.
No? Seems
Not
like you
until
probably
I'm
got the
older.
not till you're older. Okay. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm in the sweet spot now for Colonel Sanders. But it's a good thing to have under your belt. And probably you've got the genetics to do it very, very passably well already. You're probably more than halfway there.
I don't know it yet.
I can hear the music a little bit. There's a little bit of that Colonel Sanders tenor in there. I think you're not far off. But one thing I always think of is that when I flatter myself that I was cognizant of the fact that, when they were trying to cast Colonel Sanders, and this happens whenever they're trying to cast the Colonel Sanders voice, they say he's a Southern gentleman. And I go, no, he doesn't sound Southern. He's not a Southern gentleman. When I think of a Southern gentleman as somebody that speaks with a Southern accent, which you probably experienced down there in Florida quite a lot, people speaking this way.
Mm-hmm.
But here's more of a Indiana type
That's where he
accent.
was born.
Where he's born, exactly. And I imagine he modeled his voice pretty much after the folks that he was around at the time.
Now my
But I'm always,
grandpa could do that same voice too. He could do that just like that.
I'll bet. Well, your grandpa probably had a lot to do with, knew him very well, right?
Mm-hmm. He knew him about when he was not the colonel, but when my grandpa was my age, he knew him really well.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, he certainly. I tell you, our family is very, very, very happy about the fact that I've been able to do this. It's kept us going for a while, and it's a great honor to keep the tradition going. And I just want to recommend everybody check out Anthony's YouTube channel. What is it again, Anthony?
Yogi the Hamster 10.
Yogi the Hamster 10, because there are Yogi the Hamster. I guess there's 9 other Yogi the Hamsters that got in ahead of you.
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
I had gotten a PlayStation 3 quite a few years ago, and I was making a gamer tag, and I looked at my hamster, and his name was Yogi, and I said, that'd be a good name, and I thought I had to put a number at the end of it. So I put 101, and that last one was too many digits, so it changed it to 10, and it just got stuck with that.
Oh, my gosh.
And Yogi the Hamster doesn't sound as catchy as Yogi the Hamster 10 to me, so I kept the 10 on there.
It is very cutting edge. It's very cutting edge. Well, all right. I invite you all to check him out. And Anthony, we'll talk again sometime. It's lovely to speak to you. And
you too.
Yeah, folks, thanks a lot for watching. We're going to keep all the fun content coming. And I'll just see you down the road. Subscribe to my channel. Won't you get a daily celebrity fortune cookie and all kinds of other nonsense that I put up. And anyway, it's been a great honor. And we'll talk to you real soon. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.